Hey guys, welcome to this channel. In this video, we'll learn how you can transition from being a project manager to a product manager. Now, as a project manager today, you do a lot of execution. So you're constantly running behind teams in order to ensure that the final project timeline is not impacted. You're speaking to external customers, you're speaking to internal teams. If you're a technical project manager, you're speaking with different teams across the project itself, like growth, marketing, sales, etc., ensuring that the customer requests are delivered. As a product manager, though, you are in a more leadership-driven position where your focus is to lay down what to build and why to build it. While as a project manager, you focus more on how to build it. So transitioning to product management does not only require you to do the technical transition, but also a huge mental transition in order to kind of not only break but also succeed in product management. I personally have broken into product management after being a project manager. So I was working with a lot of external clients early in my career that actually helped me understand how to collaborate with different teams, how to understand their motivations, and how to drive things end to end, which is a great skill to have even as a product manager. All that in mind, I'm going to give you 6 steps that will help you build the right product mindset that enabling you to transition into product management. Before I jump into the video though, consider subscribing to the channel for the best product management content. I'm very active across YouTube and Instagram, so feel free to drop either a comment or message me on Instagram, and do expect a reply. With that in mind, let's get started. So there are 6 major things you have to do right as a project manager in order to transition into product management. Number 1, build product mindset, right? Currently, you are focused on the how of things and doing a lot of execution, right? So what I mean by this is, for example, if a product manager says, hey, I gotta build this feature, you're probably not thinking the value that this feature is adding to the end user. You're instead thinking what is the best way to build this feature per se. So your mindset needs to move from how to what and why. So what meaning, what do we want to do next, or what do we want to achieve with the product, or what do we want to achieve with the feature, and why do we want to build this feature in the first place? What is the kind of value that we are adding to the end user with this feature? So this is the major mindset change in order to kind of transition into product management. If you're not able to figure out the what and why of what you're building, you'll not be able to build product roadmaps, which is the bread and butter of product management. So the very first thing is to start building the product mindset, and the best way to do it is merely just looking at what and why, speaking to customers, understanding their pain points, doing market research, doing customer research, looking at data, figuring out how customers are behaving with the product, and in general looking at products from a more customer driven mindset. Meaning, if you're using a product, know why you're using it, what is the pain point this product is trying to kind of solve for you. So that's number 1. Number 2, start questioning everything. If you're working with a product manager, they're probably kind of laying out requirements in order for you to drive them, right? Whenever they lay out these requirements, try to understand the impact on user acquisition, revenue, user experience, because these are the 3 major cogs that drive any product. Post that, also do your independent research with respect to looking at data, looking at market. Simultaneously try to brainstorm, would you build this feature were you a product manager of this product itself? The great part about being a project manager is that all the feature requests will likely go through you, and so you will have great insights with respect to the type of impact each of these features is ending up making in the product itself. So number 3, start speaking to customers. PM speak to end users a lot in order to gather requirements, and as a project manager, to a certain extent, are speaking to the end customers or marketing teams in order to gather requirements for product managers. These discussions are both open-ended and focused, but this is a different kind of discussion where you are merely going on a call to do some discovery with the end user. These discussions are both focused and open-ended. The goal is to understand the user motivation, the pain points, and the user itself, right? Now get involved in these discussions. Just talk to your product manager or your marketing team. They will let you in, and be a part of all of these follow-up calls where the teams will try to brainstorm and derive insights out of these calls. Number 4, start learning about business. Learn core concepts of business and metrics for your product, which is daily active users, monthly active users, etc. All of these metrics are very important from a revenue standpoint for a product manager. Product manager also works with a lot of business teams, so ensure that you know these metrics. Know your top 10 customers, their use cases and problems you're solving or your product is solving for them. Get involved in requirement discussion. So you're likely anyway a part of requirement discussion, but if you're working more towards a tech side of things, ensure that you are a part of these discussions where a product manager is trying to understand why they are building certain requirements. Monitor revenue and databases to connect problems. So you're likely also building dashboards for your project or product. Ensure that you're able to connect multiple data points in order to derive insights out of the dashboard. For example, if the users dropped but revenue increased, order value or the average revenue per user went up. Now speak to sales and growth. Be a part of customer demos and discovery calls, like I mentioned earlier. Number 5, build a product yourself. If you already know how to do basic coding, you can start by building an MVP of a product that already exists in the market. If you don't know coding, just go ahead and see if you can build out a product using no-code tools. Remember, your goal here should be to do the proper discovery, figuring out the users, understanding pain points, and then building the product. It's likely not going to make sense if you just build the product and it's not any different from any of the products out there in the market. Do your research, speak to customers, analyze the data and derive insights, take product out to your smaller audience, take feedback and reiterate based on the feedback that you get from the end users. And finally, ask your product manager or product leader if they need help. It's likely that a product manager is involved in a lot of day-to-day activities. See if you can take certain responsibilities off of his plate and start leading those responsibilities, like for example market research. You can directly work with the sales and marketing teams in order to drive this yourself, deriving insights, building dashboards, looking at data, calling out alarms. All of these things are something that you can do yourself. Plus, get involved in the roadmap brainstorming. Look at how product manager is thinking when he's looking to build, say, a roadmap. What are the things he's looking at? Who are the users he's speaking to? The kind of market research he does, etc. Once you do all of this, how do you now transition into being a product manager? There are two ways you can do this, right? So, first way and the most ideal way to do this is to merely ask for an internal job transition. So, if you've already been working out a product manager or a product leader, you can merely talk to them and say if you can, join as a product manager or a junior product manager in any of the sub-product lines or the same product line that you've been working on. If you are doing a great job as a substitute of a product manager and taking some of the responsibilities of his plate and doing it pretty well, it shouldn't really be a problem. A product leader will be more than happy to hire you as a junior product manager in one of the different or the same product line. If this doesn't work out though, what you can do is you can start looking out for jobs outside and ensure that you are very clear with respect to all of these responsibilities. Talk about how you were speaking to customers, talk about how you were working with each of these teams, and talk about how you were doing your independent market research when the requirement was laid out by the product manager per se. So your goal is to ensure that you speak in line with respect to the responsibilities that you have undertaken as a project manager. Ensure that you have the right keywords in your resume and that you're confident in your product interviews. If you're interested in understanding the top PM interview questions, ensure that you check out the link in the description. Finally, certain best practices: speak less about how and more about why. Demonstrate your abilities to not only look at, say, the execution side of things, but also a more strategic side of things, right? Start looking at why and what of things. Demonstrate your urge to solve problems. And finally, use metrics to communicate your answers, like daily active users, ARPU, monthly active users, etc. So these are the things that I kind of wanted to walk you through with respect to transitioning from being a project manager to a product manager. I hope this video was able to add value to you. If yes, consider subscribing to the channel, dropping a like on this video, share this across with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.